Hello, this is Austin. We get to look at some charts today, guys. It's almost midnight on Wednesday night here in the Pacific. Let's see what's going on. Here we have Bitcoin. I think I'm just gonna remark these up every time I make a video because might as well. It's good for me. It's good for me, like most of all, right? That's kind of what I'm doing this for in the first place. But practice, practice, repetition, repetition. Gotta see what's going on. All right, so I drew the fibs, low to high. You can also do this on the daily. I'm not until we see more of a retracement. For now, we're just gonna keep playing this trend if there's signs. So let's see here. We definitely have something right here. All right, interesting. So this is what I'm seeing. First of all, ooh, look, we even have a little zone, a little supply and demand zone right here. I saw this wick and I looked over to the right and I saw it matches perfectly with that wick here in the middle. So let's extend up to include that. So we have Bitcoin rose, touch 1900. It came back to this previous high, retested, let alone retested this trend line, let alone this existing zone, let alone the 61.8, which is the most important. So we see it come down, hit it, immediate rejection, break all the way above the 38.2 already, come back down, and not able to get past the 50 and or the trend line and or the supply zone, supply or demand zone, doesn't matter. And so we're going to need to see a break, not just of this trend line, but of this zone for sure, if we're going to see a retracement on the daily, or at least a bigger retracement than we see here. Right now, I'm definitely skewed to this is getting ready for a newer high. Sellers have had their chance throughout here to break these very important zones. And the buyers gave them a few chances, but still they haven't. So we'll see if they come back down one more, but this might just take off, and that's kind of what I was eyeing last night for sure. What's next on the list? We got Bitcoin. I just added this because look at this fun explosion. So in the 4 hour, we nothing to play off of. If we go to the 1 hour, what we see here is it's kind of a popular trade. I was kind of back testing in Forex a few months ago, but when it's an obvious breakout in the retracement, when there's a trend candlestick reversal in that direction, in the trend's direction, mostly a railroad or engulfing, kind of like this, then we would see it continuation. That's what you kind of see here. We have it create this reversal pattern after making a new high, and boom, shoots up, goes down, doesn't break it, reversal pattern, shoots up. Right here again, reversal pattern, shoots up. And we're at the same point, and it looks like people are probably trading this 15-minute, which makes perfect sense because here, I mean, we could see how we could have played this here really easily. And we see it make a little W with volume dead at the 61.8. That's a good buy and hold. Do that there. People got in immediately at this 38.2, I'm guessing. Yeah, and created this reversal pattern up, breaking back above the 38.2, and it didn't stay below it. That's a sign to take it up. Got the reversal pattern right here off the moving averages to break that high. You'll see it often. Then it made this, well, here, right, we're marking this up, might as well. So if we were going to play this, let's see what we see. Well, it created this little divergent M. So, kind of taken it back. But we see an immediate wick of the 61.8. This is obviously a scalp. And so if I were to play this right now, I wouldn't because it's a little risky. But we see like a reversal pattern breaking above 38.2. I would call that like a buy, and you could take profit one at the previous high or do your own thing. But yeah, that's Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm going to wait for this overall retracement like on the 4-hour, and then definitely look to play that. Burst. Burst, burst, burst. I just entered this. And it may not have been the smartest decision, but hey, you guys get to see if I screw up, right? Alright, so we took the fibs, the low to high. We saw it go down, and big reversal pattern closing above the 61.8. I entered shortly after that because a very big candle, not going below the 78.6 and bringing above the 61.8. And look at that volume, and look at the uncompared volume. So that just made me take I think I put $200 in this. And so we'll see what it does. This will most likely shoot up like Doge is doing finally right now. Is there any other confirmations? Yes, and it's one that maybe I should have waited for, is that we do have this bearish trend line that in best case scenario I would like to see break before entering most of the trades. This one just kind of stuck out to me because these pretty green bars sticking out at the 61.8. You know that the smart players are getting in, and that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. But yeah, interested to hear what you guys think looking at this chart right here. Just want to hear kind of, if anybody, I don't even care, I want to hear your opinion, absolutely. Let's look at Dash. Yeah, so let's remark this up, right? Because we might see a trade here in a few days on the daily. Why am I starting at the daily? Because it is forming this big M, and it's gonna scare everybody. I'll tell you that there's nothing to be scared about yet. So first we drew the fibs. What do we see? Made this awesome high, lots of bullish volume. Came down, wicked at 61.8, and geez, would not even go back down or break below the 50 for long. Broke back above, kind of retraced after reaching its previous high, right? Starting to make this little M shape, scaring everybody, right? It's the most popular reversal pattern, right? But this needs to not only one, break this bullish trend line, but two, close below the 38.2 as well. That would be a sign to get out if you're in. For me, however, someone who hasn't put money in Dash before, if we see if I see like an engulfing pattern, green engulfing pattern, or a candle right here, a railroad engulfing, whatever you call it, know the basic candlestick reversal patterns, because price action is important. That's what's determining if this is going to shoot up or not. And so ultimately right now, the buyers who want this to break through, they're just kind of waiting to see if the sellers want to take it low. The sign that the price stays like flat above this trend line and nothing's happening, like sellers aren't coming in to try to break that down, that's when the whales come in and you'll see price vector up. So with Dash, I would definitely only play this on the daily, because the 4 hours is kind of ugly on this. You know, this could count as a W on this trend line, actually, right here. We'll just draw this, point it out, because W's and M's are very important. There's just a certain way to play them. And it's usually when it breaks a major trend line or a moving average, that's like right at its determining point. And that's what we're seeing here, is that price is on this daily trend line, bouncing above it, and it's making this divergent W on the 4 hour. So I would almost play this for fun. This is what I would look for, guys. See price break up, break above this middle of the W. Once it does that, once it breaks, closes above this part of the W, I would set a pending at the 38.2 or 61/8 of the retracement of this future leg that breaks. So price comes up here. If it comes up here next, I would put a pending right at the 38.2 or 61/8. Probably 38.2 in this case, just to be safe, to make sure I get in, because this kind of want to go up. Or for best confirmation, wait for a quick reversal pattern right here on the daily. All right, let's go to Doge. Doge, let's look at the daily. Let's mark this up new. It's kind of ugly. All right, so we're having this sweet rise from Doge, internet coin. All right, so we saw leg, retracement, sit, retest, big leg on the daily. Obviously, well, to me it's obvious. We would want to go to the 4 hour for entries, but let's just see if we can. Something like that, I guess. Okay. Now we know why this wicked so bad. It was because of, see this big zone right here it creates. Look at that dividing zone. 4 hour. Okay. So we see this new leg being made, and I was watching this because, you know, so much bullish volume. It was just obvious that the sellers don't, at this point, want to mess with them at all. So we take the low to high because we're playing the trend. What we saw come down here, big red candle, closed right at the 61/8, right? And then it gaps above. I'm not going to talk about gaps because there's not a really firm strategy out there. Maybe there will be one with cryptocurrencies and the markets being so transparent. But no. But anyways, saw wick down, or dive down right to the 61/8 retracement and never ever stay through it again afterwards. Saw this big volume come in, one more wick down, and so many people had extra pendings down here. It just wicked right away, and this looks to be shooting up. This looks to be shooting up. In fact, it even made this W, which is divergent. This is a fun divergence. It's when it's the opposite way of kind of what you would think, where instead of a flat W, it's lower, and then sorry, I want to talk about it. People are like, well, but this wick, but TDI and RSI measure candle closes, and so you got to remember that this was a mainly flat W, or to the upside, this was showing the opposite of that. If you guys know what I mean, divergence is a little tough to explain, I guess, but it's good to know. So right now it looks like it just broke the 38.2. Might retest down and then take an aim to break through. And I'm excited because I bought it. Hey, Ethereum is doing something. So this is Ethereum USD. It's just a lot more simple. I'm going to go to 4 hours, a little more pretty. So we drew this low to high here. I'm not going to draw it again. I drew this zone based on these wicks, and it made sense with these right there. So what do we see price do? Came up, came down to the 38.2, bounced, staying above 38.2, not breaking through this trend line. This is a sign that it's ready to burst unless it closes below relatively soon, like by the end of the week, or else this is going to shoot up. And as you can see, looking at the volume, buyers haven't come in for a while. We may start seeing some bullish volume here real soon. I'm excited for that. Let's go to Ethereum BTC just so we get it's a little different analysis because it's a little more ugly. So we'll go to the daily. What do we got here? All right. Oh, this looks freaking great. Okay. That sounded sarcastic. It wasn't. So we have this in the makings of an M, right? What we were just talking about was with Dash. Saw it make a W at 38.2. I'm going to call this a W in this case. At 38.2. And retest the high. Looks like people had pending set back down here, ready to catch that retracement after that first initial bullish leg coming out the retracement I was kind of talking about earlier. And look at that. People had pendings all through there. And we do have this trend line that looks pretty solid right now, but let's go to the 4 hour, right? So this is why I was looking at dailies, because 4 hours freaking gross as well. But we can still trade this. Absolutely, we can still trade this, guys. So I'm going to take this low to high. So what do we see here? Came down, broke below the 61.8 and immediately snap up 2 candles later, and since then it has not been able to stay down. Not only that, but I would call this a you know what, I'm not going to call it divergent W until I see it break this. I think if you're looking to get into Ethereum, which I just had my mom get some into it this morning, I would wait for the break of this trend line and or retest, or do the W thing I was talking about earlier, which we kind of just saw play out on the daily. So I would kind of wait for break up past the middle part of this W, and then set a pending at the retracements above the trend line, preferably above the 38.2, depending how high this leg goes before it retraces quickly. That's what I would look to get in. Overall, sellers aren't coming in. They tried to, but buyers are showing that they are there. And obviously, as far as volume with this, we haven't seen any sort of bearish volume that's looking to compare. We have 3 bearish candles that are half the size, and that's it. I'm optimistic, but this is an exciting time. All right, Litecoin. That's an ugly trend line. I believe I said that last time. Let's redraw this. So if we were looking on the daily, I would just take this ultimate. And we see it come down, reversal pattern at 38.2. That's all we know so far. Let's look at the 4 hour for clarity, right? See, now this is where I would throw away the daily fibs for now, especially since we haven't seen a clear move, right? I'm going to take, actually, this low. Doesn't matter, it's kind of whatever one makes sense, and this just happens to have, at this low to high, the 61.8 is a perfect support that people have paid attention to, so we just need to make sure we're lined up with what makes sense and what we're looking for, if it's the proper timing. So what are we seeing? It came up, new high, a little divergence going on, bound for a little retracement, made this little head and shoulders, but now it's struggling to break past the 61.8. What else do we see? So I would still call this bullish. Yeah. Got a little trend line here it's playing off of. I see a little trend line. I want to go to the hour though. It's not quite looking right to me. Let's try. That's a more dominant one. So that's a bullish sign right here, I guess. It's very aggressive on the 4-hour. I don't like that. It's not a good like confirmation for like looking at the 4-hour. I'll just call this. This looks pretty good. So what would I look for here? Well, we're looking for something like, I think this is gonna go, all right, this is my prediction. It's gonna go back down here. Hopefully create a little W. Get an entry there of the retracement up. It's kind of what I'm hoping for it to do. Litecoin is still bullish, but it is bigger. Excuse me. I mean, that's trend line makes a lot more sense on the daily. This is a buy right now on the daily. Because this is like, I would call this a trade. I would call this a trade on the daily right now, just because you got a sweet reversal pattern on the 61.8 coinciding with the major-ish, the most major trend line on this coin, period. This looks good, so play it how you will. I would call that a buy on the daily, but it could retrace back down to 61.8. I would wait for this confirmation and then heck yeah. NXT. This caught my eye. Why did it? Let's find out. Because of this steady growth. Look how healthy that is. And that this crazy rise like 3 days ago, and look at all this uncompared bullish volume. So we took this low to high, right? Because we want to play in line with these big boys that are standing on their own away from the crowd. Came down 61.8. Reversal pattern, wick, bigger reversal pattern. I took an entry. Oh, I took my entry right here off this retracement. I drew a line there, and the reason why is because it also made a W, let alone a divergent. W right here. Divergence is when this isn't showing what price is doing. Came up, retraced back down to the moving averages or the 50, or the middle of the W, and I took an entry there. Since then, it's looking pretty, and I would advise you guys to do the same if it's not too late, because I'm sure this is going to go to the previous high, if not higher. This is in line to explode like Ripple would possibly. What is this? This is like at 3 cents right now. Yeah, it's exciting. So once again, I went to the 1 hour for my entry just because it's pretty quick on the 4-hour, let alone what's the daily like. Yeah, daily it looks like Litecoin kind of, except a lot more bullish. See a coin. Ooh, I'm going to remark this up. This definitely worked out like wait, let's go ahead and see what I did here. And we'll see what happened, because this did play out. So we took this low to high. There was a bunch of bullish volume, and the bears were only half of that, right? Came down 61.8, made a little W, but more importantly, stayed just hanging on this trend line, broke the bearish trend line. And once it did that, it just sat on it. Sellers did not come in, so the buyers were like, fuck yeah. And so it's kind of during this sign of, look at all this time we're giving the sellers to come in and take this if they really want it to go down. But no, 4-hour candles. This is 3 days right here, 4 days throughout all this at least, right? Yeah, and they didn't show up, so boom, took it. And that's what we're going to be looking for, because that's the kind of stuff that creates new highs, when there's surety that the bears aren't ready to do their stuff. We got to look for this stuff, because it is so consistent in this crypto market right now, guys, that if we establish this down early, or this is still very, very, very young, so much money can be made. Man, I'm excited. Let's go to Steam. So yeah, Steam looks good on the daily, right? It's a little fast, so let's go to the 4-hour. Took these fibs low to high. We see it, boom, just come right to the 61.8, not stay above below it once. Yeah, and a lot more bullish volume than bears, and hey, even better, it made a W at the 61.8. Look at this bullish volume that exploded to get this W in full formation. So made this W, retracement, and I got an entry right after this this kind of reversal candle right here. Instead of it pending, I just took it a little after that candle. Or was it? It might have been a little lower. I don't know. I think I'm like at break even or barely in profit right now. The only thing about this trade was that there wasn't a good trend line to go off of for extra confirmation. I just like Steam, and there was just enough there for me to like that, especially when I saw this on the hourly too. Breaking out of that M, or sorry, this big W that we saw in the 4-hour. I don't know, I just liked it. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping it breaks up. Is there any trend lines I missed on the daily? Nah. Alright. Stellar. I've been holding Stellar for a little over a week. Let's see, so it's moving fast on the daily, right? It's fast jump. So we go to 4-hour. What has happened so far? We took the low to high. So we could choose to take the low to high to the wick. And I was looking at it. I was like, oh yeah, broke below 61.8, then broke above. Looks good, looks good. To the candles on this one, it shows it just a little more clear for me, because especially when price is just consistently bouncing and wicking at the 61.8, it's just, that's candy. I mean, man. So we see a little W play. Look at all these people that got on this retracement right here. In fact, this is now a freaking zone. Right? W off the 61.8, get the retracement. Boom, that happened right here. So now we're just waiting. They're still waiting. Some sellers came in, blah, 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 blah. Not too much volume. Is wicking at the trend line. It's wicking at this zone. It's wicking at the 38.2. I mean, I think if we see one more reversal pattern, this is boom. It's going up. See if we see anything else. I mean, yeah, we could definitely. This trend line actually just makes more sense for sure. So heck yeah, we see this W being formed, man. And if it reverses, we got some divergence. I mean, it's a fun time in Cryptoville. God, kill me. Okay. Let's go to Ripple. Sweet. Heck yeah. Ripple, congrats on Ripple, because I just know so many people who got in at like the 0.006 cent area. I got in at 16 cents and then cashed out at like 42 at this like very peak last night, because I'm just throwing my money around at a lot of different trades I'm seeing. So I'm gonna keep these marks here. We have this zone from this wick right there, previous high. So we start this off on the 4-hour, low to high. What has it done so far? It's wicked at the 38.2, and it's chilling at the 38.2. You know, maybe on the hour it wants to go off the 38.2, but definitely what most people would be looking at is to catch it right there, to freaking set a pending. Well, this is also interesting because when it made this new high, right, only half the bulls came in. So either they're reserved or I don't know. But what do we look for? We look for a sweet, we want to see this spit away from this zone in the 61.8 and with a clear bullish volume sign. And yeah, it'd be pretty. Wait to see what happens tomorrow, I guess. Same with Ripple USD for sure. This is showing the volume that makes a lot more sense. So let's go ahead and get this updated. Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely going to be our target, guys. You know, we have this big trend line that looks like I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this channel trend line. Look for it to come back down right there. All right, we have NEM. Congrats. Fun day for NEM. So, oh yeah, I drew some lines today. Can I tell what I did? So, I took this low to high here. Saw this rejection. Okay, no, I'm marking this up new. It's kind of ugly. You could be honest with me. Let's go to daily. Daily, it's pretty fast. So we're going to go to 4-hour. That was going to be fun to trade, I think. Keeps going. All right, low to high. Come down 78.6. Close right above the 61.8. And it would just stay in this zone. You know, maybe this zone that was created by that wick right here. And yeah, it does not want to break through. Look at this. Made this W. Made a W. Very divergent. You see how is it divergent? Price is flat, right? In fact, maybe a little up. This for this W. And this W is brr. Brr. Yeah, that's divergence. That's just a sign of reversal. And you especially see this type of divergence for trend continuation reversals is what I'm going to call it. And when you see that off of a major fib, it's fun times. So, of course, if I saw this forming right here, you know, I'd be telling you guys, you know, if it makes this W and if it reverses, you know, breaks above the middle of the W, in this case, it creates a new high, catch retracement up. This might really quickly go down. Oh, well, we can see if we catch a retracement off of this in the future, right? Yeah, I'm not going to mark that zone. I'd mark this zone. Yeah, so I mean, most likely buy now and it'll keep shooting up or wait for a retracement, a little W, that kind of thing. Yeah, then will be exciting. And that's all I have up here on my charts. Definitely some fun stuff going on. What's going on? Not too much fun. You know, NEM's doing awesome for sure. Bytecoin I have up, Steam I have up, Dogecoin, heck yeah. if you guys have any recommendations, I mean, ooh. Let's take a look at this. DGD. No. Okay. Yeah, I don't care too much. Fuck, what was it? DGD. Yeah, they don't have it on here. I don't care. Some fun rises to play. What? Yeah, that'll be all. This is just an exciting time, guys. We're being presented the beginning of an unmanipulated, very transparent market. That is maybe gonna be the most bullish thing since the .com boom, right? Fucking Google. And it's made me a lot more content recently. Having spent a little over a year now pursuing trading futures, forex, haven't been successful long term. Back tested a lot of popular strategies, and like long term over a period of like 2 years, most of them sit right at like 50% with a slight edge for you. But you know, if I don't know, there should be a lot better odds out there in common market stuff. But I just want to see more people be aware of how transparent this market is. Like, I definitely, want to learn it and get it down where we can have a checklist of 5 things to get into a trade, which is kind of what I don't know. We're just gonna start here. We're just gonna start here. We're gonna be smart. We gotta work together. We gotta have an open mind. We gotta understand what other people are looking at and what other people want to do, and we have to ride that train. You just have to figure out what train to hop on board. Right now, there's going to be a lot of opportunities with all this stuff. Are you kidding me? There's so much money being made, guys. There's so much money being made just through, pump and dumps by, the billionaire, multi billions in the banks and all that stuff. Sure, they'll have some fun with this, and we can definitely tag along with it. If there's a long-term reversal sign coming, we'll see the signs, and we'll take a small loss if needed. But right now, if we see something that has such obvious signs that this wants to go up and at least retest this previous high, yeah, heck yeah. So we see with Doge really quick, this last candle is this 4-hour candle, 40 minutes left, is showing the red volume. A lot of people have pendings set up right here, so it'll be interesting. I think they might just want to scalp this retest, but we'll see. This is still a trade, a very valid trade to take this to a new high. In the most optimal kind of world, first take profit would be right up here at the previous high, not at the tips, but right there in that zone. Take profit 2 would be, a fib extension into a new high, or however you feel, and that kind of thing. It's exciting stuff, guys. I hope you guys are optimistic. I don't care if you don't understand, like, why am I just looking at charts and I'm not reading off the daily Bitcoin news. Charts will tell you everything that news can and more, because it's well, you just got to read up on the phenomena of technical analysis and when it came into play. And why did it get popular? Money. Because money. Because more money. Anyways, I wish you all the best. I want you people who are nervous or unsure what is all this, open a demo account, download blockchain, which is a sweet little portfolio cryptocurrency tracker, Android or iPhone, and it doesn't track. You put in whatever investments you have made, so you don't have to have had put actual money in. You just say, "Oh, uh, I bought Ripple now at this retracement." You know, just demo it, just practice. Practice makes perfect. You know, you don't want to. I think old forex mentor said like you have no right trading or investing live until you have flipped a demo account. Of course, that's more for trading where you make more gains than very long-term investing, but I think that's very, very true and holds firm. But yeah, I love you all. This is exciting times, guys. Exciting times, especially for you who are uh, searching for cryptocurrency videos on YouTube. Surprisingly, we are like the very, very first wave of this all, and it's going to be a fun next 10 years, let alone next 6 months. Love you all. Have a good one.